Hey guys, it's Rebecca. Oh my god, my hair's crazy. So yesterday I had a divine appointment and this guy was talking about how he was very hurt by the church and like God told him to leave and everything. So, okay, so basically this morning, so I have a few dreams last night and this morning I was like in a lot of pain. And I think part of it was like I was trying to tell someone how I felt, but like it felt like she was being honest, but I also felt like my attempts to explain myself was kind of useless. And that's part of the reason, like, when I left that church, like, I basically didn't want to confront anyone about like hurts that I felt in my heart because basically I felt like a lot of people were just like, I'm telling you the truth. Like, this is the truth. And, like, you're going down a path of destruction. And it's like, well, I really don't think that God would ever prophesy that to anyone. Like, God would never tell someone, like, you're going down a path of destruction. So, like, I felt very hurt when I left the church. And, um, like, I kind of just went into isolation. I went to the wilderness, and God was healing me from a lot of just like hurt, right? And my heart just felt pained. Like I felt misunderstood. I felt rejected by the church. Good morning. Um, so I went to the wilderness for like about 2 years, and then God was like, "You're gonna pastor lost sheep," and He told me that I was a prophet and all this stuff. So when you're a prophet, you get even more rejected, which is great, God, really great. So every day when I was on the road, I was getting rejected every single day. Like, there were times, like, I had to knock on someone's door because their TV was playing all night. I was rejected by my mother because, like, she didn't understand what I was doing. She's like, "You're wasting your life, like, why are you traveling?" Like, she's like and the really scary thing was also, like, I wasn't supported by a church, and I'm still not supported by a church. I have to ask for donations. Like, it's a ministry that, like, I reach lost sheep. And so it's like, I don't even have monthly supporters now, like and it's been kind of like uphill battle, so and I do understand, like, I really do think that, like, it's like God wants me to keep moving forward, right? And, like, to reach the people who are "Hi, how are you?" Um, to reach the people who are, like, outcasted by churches or like they felt rejected or they walked away from God or maybe they're just agnostic or atheist. And so this morning, so things have been kind of tight on this end where it's like I've had to really invest into like everything God has told me to do, like go to Mexico and things like that. So financially, like it's been kind of tight, right? So I was like, God, I'll obey, like I'll keep, moving forward. And it's like whenever you hit like a financial low, it's confronting that fear of lack, right? It's this fear of like, oh no, I don't have enough, right? So the Lord told me to ask my mom for money. And of course, she started yelling. She's like, I don't know what you're doing with your life, blah, blah. But I knew that I was also hitting a spirit of lack in her because it was like she's very afraid of like not having enough. So I was like, okay, God, great. I just hate when like it's like I'm hitting this wall of lack of accusation in her that like comes out and it's like it says whatever your heart is. Well, whatever. Yeah. Something about whatever your heart is, there's your love or something, whatever, you know, something like that in the Bible. And it's crazy because recently I've had a lot of divine appointments, right? But then I felt a lot of lack too. I felt drained. I felt tired. And partially because my heart felt tired. Like when you're hearing a lot of people's like problems and you're hearing their ish, Like, I've had to be like, "Hey, look, I am not emotionally able to right now, like, I don't have the capacity to." Um, and it's also hitting that wall of, like, this fear of love, this fear of, like, being loved, this fear of receiving love, this fear of love really has to do with, do you feel worthy enough to be loved? Do you feel worthy enough to have intimacy in your life? And when it comes to, like, marriage, when it comes to relationships and friendships, are you allowing others to see you at your worst, to see you at your lowest, at your most vulnerable? And, like, last night, I had a dream that, there were, like, zombies chasing my brother, and I woke up and I was just like, "Mom, you need to call your son, like, he's not in a good place, and, like, you need to reach out to your son." She's like, "Oh, no, he's grown, like, I don't need to care." It's like, "No, you need to show care, like, open up your heart, like, like, even like, it's hard because oh gosh, like, I think when um, love is when someone has no capacity to love you and you reach out. That's Christ-like love. It's hard. Because you feel like you deserve more, right? You deserve, like, okay, well, human way of thinking is, if that person does not apologize or reach out to you, then you're not going to, right? That's the human way of thinking. But, like, I told this guy I met yesterday, like, he said that it was the first time he felt the Holy Spirit in a long time. He said, he's like, "Okay, when I get hurt, it's just like I kinda shut down." But it's like, I'm I've gotten hurt this past week, like, a lot, and it's like, um, I'm not gonna shut down my heart. I have to push through it. Why? Because if I sit in the hurt, I'm gonna be depressed. So, how do you let love in? You allow others to know about the pain that you're going through. You allow others to know that you're hurting. You allow others to know that, "Hey, I need help." And, like, so a lot of times, like, people think, like, "Oh, okay, when you're ministering to others, you have to look like a certain part," but that's not true. You need to be vulnerable. You need to ask for help. Like, people can relate to vulnerability. People can't relate to strength because strength is vulnerability. And a lot of times in our world, we think that, um we think that strength is not showing weakness. Um, but it's not true. So, like, the more um hardships I've gone through, the more I'm able to connect with my vulnerability, connect to my heart, and, like, connect to people and say, "Look, like, this is my heart, this is what I'm going through, and, like, I need love," right? Like, I need to feel loved, and I don't feel loved right now because I feel rejected by this person, right? And, so anyways, it's just been a very long journey, and so, like, I remember someone praying for me. She said that, like, in order to heal, thank you. In order to heal, like, some of the church hurt that I've gone through, like, I have to, like, feel it again. I have to feel the rejection, I have to feel the, um, vulnerability of not being understood. So, what happened was I wrote someone, like, how I felt about something she said to me, like, years ago, and she was like, "Well, you disappeared out of my life, so you clearly didn't want a relationship with me, and that's not the case. I was just so hurt, and I felt like as much as I try to explain myself, like, it's no use. It's useless. And then so I thought, "You know what? Let me reach out to her." At first, she seemed nice, but then it was just, like, a lot more misunderstanding again, and then, I just felt hurt and rejected again, and I'm like, "What is the point of sharing my heart with someone and then not being understood?" Like, it hurts too much, right? And that's kinda how I felt, like, with a lot of people at that church. It's just like, okay, well, I have a different point of view, but, like, if I share with them how I feel, like, it's pretty much useless, like, what is the point, right? And so I kind of, like, stopped explaining myself, and, now I'm at a point it's like, okay, well, it's hard, like, trying to help someone understand something when you don't feel understood, right? And, so anyways, that's it. I love you guys. Aw, really? That's great. Yeah, I felt like the Lord was telling me, like, you know, like, just tell people how you feel and, like, make a video about your church. So, anyways, so thanks for watching. Um, yeah, I could use all the help I can get. So, if you are able to give to the ministry, you could do so on my website, rebekkalien.com. And God bless you. Bye. Praying for you. Oh, what's your name? Oh, what's your name? Add me on Instagram. So yeah, like, I just want to give you a history of, like, my experience with the conservative church. Um, I grew up going to a Baptist church for like 10 years, and, like, I served all throughout the 10 years. Like, I was basically exhausted and overworked from serving. But they were like, "Yeah, the more you serve, the better Christian you are." Hi, Nick. And do you have Facebook? My Facebook. Oh, here, just email me. We can chat. So, like, in that kind of environment, it's like, I don't know, I just felt like there was, like, a way to do everything, and then if you did it wrong, like, I dressed different, so I got talked about at church. Um, like, there's just a billion things that I couldn't fit into, right? Like a mold. And I tried to, like, I don't know, I try to accommodate and be accommodating, and I still try to be myself, but it was impossible. And so, like, facing some of these people from like 10 years ago, they're like, "Well, you just disappeared out of our lives. Like, you didn't explain yourself." I was like, "Yeah, because I felt like it was useless." And even now, it's like, I try to explain myself. Like, one person said that I was emotionally sensitive as a young person, so maybe that's why I'm overly sensitive. And then I try to tell one girl like how I felt, and it was just like I don't know. It's just they didn't see it my way, right? And that's hard because it's like you want to be understood. Okay, yeah, send me an email. So your heart can feel very like, your heart is a very alive kind of thing. Like your heart is like, okay, I like this, I don't like this, I feel fed, I don't feel fed. I feel lack or I don't feel lack. And your heart can be like, I like this car, I don't like this car. I like this person, I don't like this person. I like what I'm hearing or I hate what I'm hearing. So when you're around like a toxic person, that person's being mean to you, your heart basically like revolts itself. It's like ill, right? So your heart is a very live thing and it's very reactive and some people don't they're so numb, nothing really matters. Their environment doesn't matter, where do they live don't matter. Um, like, they just don't really care because it doesn't really matter, right? But for me, I'm very reactive and I can feel people's hearts too, like, when I talk to them. Um, and yeah, I guess, like, God just kinda broke through into my heart and is like, here's the depths, here's the bottom pit of your vulnerability and like release that. Like don't hold it in, like allow someone to see it. And like I called my friend, I called and he like listened to me and I just kind of let it out. And I was like, I feel rejected by this lady. Like I thought that like by having the courage to confront it, like it would make things better. But no, like I don't know, I guess yeah, I mean, I didn't talk to her for, like, 10 years because of that hurt, um, but then even when I did, it was like, "Oh, well, even if I try to explain it, it's not enough." So, I guess at the end of the day, you just kind of have to, like, accept that, like, some people are not gonna want to, like, reconcile with you or talk to you, and that's okay, you just have to move on, um, so, yeah. I just pray today, Lord, that you would heal our hearts from the past. And I hear the Lord say, "It's not your fault, it's not your fault, it's not your fault, it's not your fault, it's not your fault." And I see you oh, I'm, like, prophesying to you, Neek. I see you like you're blaming yourself for things and, the Lord is saying, like, "It's not your fault." Like, don't blame yourself. Um, you didn't know any better, and, the Lord wants to heal your heart. And then I hear God say, like, "Ask people for help," like whatever your needs are, like, ask people for help. Don't, like, do it alone and just self-isolate, like, ask people for help, go to people, like, don't be afraid to ask for help, you know? So that's what God is saying. So here I am asking for help, like, I need help for my ministry financially, so if you're able to give, please do so on my website, rebekkalien.com, or on the links below. Um, yeah, I could use the help to reach lost sheep, and that's basically, it goes towards food and transportation. Usually, I have divine appointments on, like, Uber and Lyft, and, so thank you so much. God bless you. Shoot me an email. Alright, bye.